What's your favorite pop girl? She crawls out of Demi Moore's spine. Imagine like being 16 hours, no Wi-Fi. We were between the headlines, Kyle MacLachlan as Babygirl or Kyle MacLachlan as Mother.
Babygirl's pretty good.
Are you Team Conrad? But like in my head, you're always in a Balenciaga suit.
33 Cats, you'd be okay.
That's a Cosmo article.
Must be very good cheddar.
What are we even doing?
What are we even doing?
Hey, it's Kyle MacLachlan, and welcome to the show, What Are We Even Doing?, where I talk with fantastic artists, creators of all type about what they're up to, what they're doing, what's happening on the internet, how they're using social, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And today we have like really a special guest. So excited. Willa Bennett is here. She's an author, she's a journalist, she's the editor-in-chief of Cosmo and 17. I'm not going to say the youngest editor ever because you've probably heard that ad nauseum, but anyway, truly capable, and so nice to have her on the show. So bless you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
I'm so glad to hear that. I put on a suit that I wore, when I went to the show, the Balenciaga show in Paris. I decided I would honor you with
so sweet.
Try to imitation is the
love it.
sincerest form of flattery. So, and then I have my Scottish, my tartan tie for like a little. And you're wearing a tie that I brought as an alternative.
Yeah. Which
is an old Jean-Paul Gaultier tie that I love.
I'm so honored to wear it.
It's kind of a lace satin kind of thing.
It's beautiful. I wish you could all touch it.
It's really interesting, right?
It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, thank you for letting me borrow this. I'm so honored. The Demna's Balenciaga looks really good on you.
Thank you very much.
It was made for you.
He is such a special person.
Yeah.
Demna, as I've gotten to know him and appreciate what he's done. And he's now moving to Gucci, and I'm excited to see what he's going to do there as well. So,
yeah, I think his admiration of the past while also pushing forward is so special, and it's something I think a lot about at Cosmo. Just taking this heritage legacy brand that so many people have associations with, and pushing it forward while also not losing that special connection. I think
right.
I really admire how he did that at Balenciaga, and I think at Gucci, my guess is we'll see a lot of that too. We'll see a lot of archival. We'll see a lot of going back to the roots, but I think we'll see those slight Demna-isms. We'll see some trash bag in a couple of years. We'll see some Kyle MacLachlan will be walking down the runway.
Oh man, I would be honored. His creativity is really unbelievable. Do you have a specific core memory about where you are now? What started you? What was it that was like? And you've talked a little bit about the writing and the integration of the ballet and everything, but was there something that sort of said, I want to do this?
I had this English teacher in high school, Nathan, and I remember being in English class writing a story about dance. We had read a bunch of books, and I remember he called me after class and was like, I know you like this dance thing, but you should be a writer. And I was like, really? And I think my first response was, that kind of makes me anxious. And he was like, that's all I'm going to say. And to this day, I send him every single magazine, and I always write him a note that's if there are grammatical errors, please don't tell me. And he laughs every time. He goes, there's no way there's a grammatical error. But that was really him pulling me aside and saying that. I think, again, I think I was literally 17. I was so impressionable. But also, I really didn't think of myself as a writer in high school. I really wasn't that person. I was I'm a dancer. But I loved English class, and it came really easily. And I used to always say, good writing, when it's flowing and coming out, feels like drinking water. It's just its own. You're in a different world. And he was the first one to use that word, oh, you should be a writer. And I think that was a big turning point for me.
Without question. You remember which grade it was when it was middle school, or it was
I think it was 11th grade.
11th grade. Okay, high school.
So I was literally 17, which is crazy.
Wow.
But that was huge for me, and I think it really pushed me to think. I think when you're 17, especially, identity and the words you call yourself feel so scary. It's I'm a writer, I'm a dancer, but in reality, it's you can be both. But I think at that age, it really doesn't feel as fluid and flexible. So having a teacher pull you aside and be you should do this new thing was huge.
Especially someone you admired, the validation that came from him.
Oh my God, love him, yeah.
Right? I mean, that's it. That is big. I have a similar thing when I was a little bit younger in 8th grade. It wasn't about becoming a writer, but I was such a Dune fan.
I love that.
My English teacher, Mrs. Craigo, she would let me write sayings from the book because it's full of sort of, crazy, fear is the mind killer, et cetera, et cetera. She'd let me write them on the board and put them up there for the class to see because I was so much about that book.
That's amazing.
It started me on the path that ultimately led to me being cast in the movie.
That's amazing.
Which is so weird to me.
Have you told her?
She knows.
She knows.
She knows, yeah.
I mean, she's seen probably.
She wrote, I had her write in my paperback book.
Wow.
Yeah, she wrote my name down in the paperback book that I was carrying around with me that was like dog-eared and crazy. So
that's such a special story. I think.
It was good.
Again, you're just so impressionable at that age.
And I think to recognize a passion.
Yeah.
Right? Because a lot of teachers, they don't care. Really.
Totally.
You know what I mean? They're just like, whatever, they're teaching something. But someone to take an interest in you, like Nathan took an interest in you, obviously, and felt strongly enough to say, you need to go this direction.
Totally.
You're becoming a person, right?
Yeah.
And they're treating you like a person, not just like a kid.
Totally.
You're now kind of an adult. You're sort of moving towards being an adult. The whole world of publishing, editing, et cetera, is so foreign to me.
Really?
Yeah, I really know nothing about it. So help kind of walk me through. Like, you had a dream at some point in time and said, this is what I want to do. How did it start? Did it start as you obviously interested in writing, but did you say, ultimately, this is my goal, is to run a magazine? Was that something you wanted to do from the beginning? Or
I have always loved magazines. I think I always loved fashion. And so I was growing up, I was reading these magazines. I was so fascinated by the storytelling. I obviously was a writer, so I was very interested in pictures and how they told stories and how they made you feel, and I was obsessed with cutting them out, and it just felt like these different worlds that you could jump into in this very visceral way. I obviously loved reading books, but with fashion magazines specifically, it felt unattainable but attainable, and it felt like watching TV or movies, honestly, for me. And in college, and I started really diving into journalism, I realized it was about all of it, and it wasn't just the written word. I kind of worked my way up. I started at GQ, and then we shot you at my last position at Highsnobiety, which is one of my favorite shoots. I'm not even just telling you that.
Oh, thank you very much. I had such a fun time. It was blazes hot in Los Angeles. And remember some of the stuff they had? They had it was a vinyl, a thick vinyl jacket of some kind, and I was like, sure, let's go for it, and the shoot turned out really, really well. I was really happy with it. I love
those photos. You were vacuuming, the clothes were amazing. We had you dripping in Balenciaga. It was truly amazing. I feel like we really got some good looks, and I remember this so vividly. We were looking through the photos, and someone on the social team actually was like, Kyle MacLachlan is Babygirl. And then it became this debate where it's is he going to get it? And I was like, I think he is, based on his social media.
Thank you.
And you really got it.
Thank you. I've been well trained.
You knew exactly what we meant. We were between the headlines.
Right.
Kyle MacLachlan is Babygirl or Kyle MacLachlan is Mother. Which
serious?
one do you like better?
Babygirl's pretty good, now that I've come to appreciate. But you were talking a little earlier about the magazine, and I wanted to ask you also, you come in, Cosmo's been around for a while. Wasn't Helen Gurley Brown, didn't she started it, right? So 60 years ago was her debut. Cosmo existed before her, but she was the one that really took this magazine to a new path and really focused it around love and relationships, which is something I think a lot about. I think, even growing up, I remember reading her columns about sex and power, and there was just truly nothing like it at the time. Yeah.
And so, this issue that you actually have on your desk with Mark Whaley on the cover,
which we're going to get into, yes.
This is 60 years since Helen's debut issue as EIC.
Yeah.
And I think what I love it so much is we really pulled references from the archives. We really went back into what made Cosmo so special 60 years ago.
Yeah.
We talk a lot about reproductive rights. We talk a lot about, this being a launch pad for a lot of talent. So we have Chase Sue Wonders on here, who I'm sure you're friends with.
Yep.
We have Madeline Klein, KJ Appa, tons of people where I think they're on their way to being the cover. And so it's just really, really exciting. Margaret Qualley's mom was on the cover, actually, which is special. Andy. There's just so many small Easter eggs. We actually have a photo of her holding the first ever Cosmo, which is of the Statue of Liberty.
Yes,
so
I saw that.
Cosmo heads will get it.
I love that you care.
Oh,
so
my
much,
God,
you know what I mean?
course.
And even you see the anniversary issue is right there, just kind of written atop there.
Yeah.
I'm getting to understand you a little bit. You like to plant things, but don't make them obvious. You're kind of.
Yeah, my first cover at High Snob was Billie Eilish, and she was wearing Yoji, who was on the cover of High Snob exactly 11 years ago before that.
Yeah.
So I think when you're building a brand, it's really important to understand what the brand is in the context of the zeitgeist, which I think you do really well, but then also grow it and iterate on it. On the table of contents, there's this photo of Margaret and she's like sucking a cherry, and that's kind of an ode to the way Helen used to write about cherries and what that meant, and in sexuality. And everything is strategic, and it's not to kind of overcomplicate things. I think sometimes art is best when it's direct and simple, but I think it's important to know where you came from.
I completely agree, but strategic, but also playful.
Yes,
which I think is nice.
Yes, like don't take it too seriously.
Yeah, and the cherry thing, of course, I think immediately of Twin Peaks.
Yes.
And cherry pie, and Audrey Horne, and the cherries, and the tying of the cherry stem, and all of that. What goes under that, right? Maybe not obvious to many viewers, but to other viewers, I get it.
Totally. And it's not for everyone to understand. And I never am like, people ask me this all the time, like, are you upset if people don't like get references? And I'm like, no. The references are like to build out a creative process, but they're not meant to, they're not to like explain art. Like I think people bring their own associations, and I welcome that. But I also think when you're building a brand like Cosmo and you're trying to take it into the future, you can't just erase the past 60 years. That would be crazy.
Yeah. But that's not easy to do.
It's fun. It's part of the challenge.
It's fun, yeah, which I think I get from you. That's pretty cool. So what magazines did you read growing up? I mean, you mentioned that were there some favorites that you were like, this?
Esquire, GQ, Cosmo, 17, like genuinely these like two stark masculine, feminine brands.
Yeah.
And I think like that just spoke to how clear their brand identities were.
Where did you grew up?
Grew up in LA.
In LA, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Silver Lake.
At Silver Lake. How nice.
Yeah.
When I first moved to LA, I lived in Los Feliz.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, way before Los Feliz was cool.
That's cool.
It was a kind of a backwater for sure.
Love.
But I loved it. And then found my way to Venice, and then, up
love
in the hills.
Venice.
Yeah, it was really special. Well, you're heading up these magazines, but you're also really social aware. And how does that work? So you've got, the magazine, print magazine, which we grew up with, but now there's such a strong presence on social for this and putting it out on social. And is there a balance there? Is there...
Yeah, we have an amazing social team, and I really learned so much from them. I think that we really there's obviously the newsstand date, but then the social drop, I think, sometimes has more weight.
Yeah.
It really is a moment. Like, we really use it. That we were really, like, making a statement and a moment around what it means to be helming this magazine 60 years after Helen's debut, more than anything. And I mean, my first issue it was the first time a romantic relationship was on the cover, and that was really about...
With Macaulay, right?
Yeah.
Who we did press work for
way.
Fallout. Yeah, he's in Fallout.
Yes.
And I'm so excited. He's such a nice guy.
He is such a sweet guy.
Yeah.
Truly,
really
I was so
fun.
blown away. Like, he's so special.
Yeah.
He sent me the sweetest thank you after his cover, and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
He really went out of his way.
He's super
I don't know.
thoughtful.
He's really special.
Yeah.
He really was someone I left set being like, I love him, and I want the best for him.
Yeah, I felt the same way. We did a couple things together just for fun, because they have you do all sorts of crazy stuff
I'm sure.
for promotion. But I said, I really like this guy. And I had never met him before. And we kind of just jumped into the relationship, like, okay, let's have some fun. And he was totally up for it.
Wow, I feel like that's like two fandoms. Like, I can't even imagine you guys hanging out. I think I would freak out. That's a story for Cosmo.
That's a good story. I'm up for it. You studied ballet.
Yeah.
So I took 2 years of ballet at the University of Washington. Yeah. Tell me, when did you start?
I was a really serious ballet dancer growing up. I started when I was 7, actually.
Wow.
I don't really know what it was. There was something that was really fascinating about it. Like, I was obsessed with reading about it, and really, like, I think I also just like met so many friends that it really quickly became my world. And I feel like I had so many of my most formative experiences, like in dance with my dance friends. And I think, growing up in LA, like, it was really amazing to have this like passion and this hobby that, like, honestly was all I really cared about. It was like writing and dance.
Yeah.
So a lot of my friends were like going out, and I was just like so uninterested in that.
So interesting.
Very disciplined.
Yeah.
I mean, I always tell the story, but like the morning after prom, I had dance at 9 a.m. So I was like...
You got to bed early.
Yeah. I was just like very diligent and very disciplined, I think is the word my parents still say. It was just really intense. And I think what it taught me, which is such a valuable lesson that I still think about now is like everything you're working on and like thinking through in your life informs your art. And so everything in dance would always end up coming back to my writing.
Well, writing is discipline. I mean, takes huge discipline to be really, I mean, I think a really good writer sets time aside every day. And I struggle with it so much because I love to write.
Yeah.
But it's like the discipline it takes. And then writing is really just rewriting. You know, you write something and then you're like, I go back. So it's going back and going back and going back until you have it just right. And you're never satisfied.
Yeah, I really, really relate to what you're saying. I think like, I think first off, like all writing is rewriting. That's something I've like told myself a million times. My writing teacher used to say that.
It is. It's just a mantra. It's rewriting.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get my son to understand that. It's like
you're
just not just one pass and you're done. He's like, you got to go back.
And you need to like think about the words. And I really give Sarah Lawrence a lot of credit. Their writing program was amazing. And I think about some of the things I learned all the time. I think as an editor, like it's so exciting for me to like get a piece of text and really help the writer like come out with more clarity about what they're trying to say. And I always say like good writing really is just direct at the end of the day. Like don't like we got to get to the core of what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I think a lot about that about celebrity profiles. I wonder what you think of this because I feel like there's this narrative that like celebrity profiles are dead, and it's like so not true.
I don't think so. But you have a new form for that. I think Blind Date is kind of the visual, I guess, of a written column. You know,
I think it's like there's space for all of it. Is like my genuine take. Like I love Blind Date. Basically, like I go on
it's so fun
blind date with a celebrity.
But then you blindfold yourself.
Yeah, I'm blindfolded.
And you have to guess who it is. It's crazy.
And I usually get it wrong. But every once in a while, I feel like I maybe could get you. That's why you should. I mean, I won't be able to know if you come on.
Okay,
but
I have to change. Well, you have the microphone that changes the voice, so that's good. So
but like you got a vibe. Maybe I'd guess. But I think like the conversation.
Your questions are tough, though. By the way, I would be embarrassed maybe. Or maybe not. I don't care.
Yeah, I feel like I have like my tricks. Like I'll be like, have we met before? And then you ask specific questions. It's like easy. Or castmates always gives it away.
Yeah.
But you could lie and be, I mean.
No, I would never lie. It would be absolutely true.
You would never lie.
I'd have to, because the whole point of it is to see how you do, you know.
Yeah, that's true. But Blind Date's a great format. I think it's exciting because it feels so real. And like, again, I do think these younger audiences are more satiated from video content. So for me to have a video series for Cosmo around sex and dating like made perfect sense. And I think that really hones in what we stand for, and that's love and relationships. But I wrote the Margaret Qualley story, and that is so interesting. We do these formats in book where it's actually the question and answer between the like subject and the writer, which I really enjoy reading. I did a Gracie Abrams profile and it was similar. And we do these footnotes, which I actually love. It's like so exciting. It's like footnotes of little details that like explain interactions. And I just love that format because I think when you're interviewing someone, there's so many little nuances. It's like Kyle's wearing Balenciaga. Yeah. This is significant because Demna now is at Gucci. And what does this mean? Like those details I think people are hungry for. And that's something that makes it real and human. And so I'm excited to see what else we can do with that.
That's what you do. I mean, that sounds like the Easter egg idea. You know what I mean? The context of what's happening.
Exactly.
And why it may have an impact or influence this or that type of thing. So
100%.
I love that.
I love that.
Just really quick, how do you, so you read, someone submits when you're writers and you read through, and because I never am able to like go, oh, this is what it's about, or it could be this, or maybe it's this over here. And I find myself all over the place instead of like one central idea. I think I need to take a writing class. Yeah. One central idea that you sort of follow.
Do you listen to pop music?
I do. A lot of it through my son.
Okay, cool. Yeah. What's your favorite pop girl?
Well, I've been loving Lorde recently.
Okay, Lorde. So, I actually knew that. I shouldn't have asked.
That's okay. No, that's okay. No, but
I saw
But Charlie as well. I love everything about her. I love her journey. I love the musicianship. I love the tones, the choices of instruments, the instrumentation, how she phrases. I love everything about that. It's interesting to me. It catches me as much as her lyrics catch me.
Interesting. Okay, here's what I think is so interesting about pop music. It's always about like a very specific idea that you cannot necessarily explain in words, but it's very clear, non-confusing, and you relate to it. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's a good magazine article where it's like, it's an idea. Like for Margaret Qualley, it was like, or I walked into the interview, I went to New Jersey. She was there with Jack. It was one of her few days off. She's filming 3 movies right now, super busy. Her mom's been on the cover of Cosmo. And the idea was like, what does it mean for Margaret Qualley to be on the cover of Cosmo after 60 years?
Right.
That was the concept, right? I got there. We went through her house. I went on the beach. We talked a lot about her different roles and how she has played these complex women and what that means for her and how she sees her own womanhood. Talked a lot about sexuality. The substance was like its own thing because, talk about a complicated film. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
She crawls out of Demi Moore's spine to be like the younger
version. I've been too scared to see it, actually.
Honestly, completely understand. And when I was prepping for this interview, I truly did like watch all of her movies back to back. I had seen The Substance before, but I hadn't seen Made and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I watched it back to back to get the full experience, and like it was pretty intense. Like after I was like, wow, like these are so many different types of challenges that women face depicted so clearly. And so I think I was like in that headspace when I went into the interview, and what I came out with was, we both had similarities, me writing about Cosmo, her writing about her career, and we also had similarities in how we thought about womanhood and relationships. And I think what was so special is she really, like, she had read Cosmo, so she totally understood the weight of Cosmo and the platform and why young people need a platform like Cosmo. Like, she completely got that and ran wild with it, which I was so grateful for. And it's so special when a celebrity, especially of, her caliber, is down to talk about, like, why young people need sex education. Like, she was all for it and, like, really understood it. And again, her sister and her read Cosmo. She was like, we need this. Like, young people need magazines, especially ones that talk about sex.
I'm kind of thinking about what you're saying, and I completely agree. I completely agree because I think, I see with my son, they have access to so much stuff online, but to have someone curate something who talking about a specific thing really clearly, and they can state it and say, this is kind of where the reality is. This is what's really happening with people, with couples, with sex, with the situation, growing up, what this all means. Have this kind of conversation. Don't be watching video of whatever, you know what I mean, and basing your education or your learning on something like that. I think it's healthier.
Yeah, and I think there's a responsibility. I think, look, like, we do talk to therapists, we do talk to psychiatrists, we do talk to sex and relationship therapists, couples therapists. Like, we really do dive into it. And I think as much weight as a Margaret Qualley story has, we also have a story that really shows how different couples split costs and, like, when is the right time to talk about money in a relationship. And, we have a conversation, a beautiful essay by Ashley Ford, who she writes about how, she's 7 years into her marriage and she's like falling more in love and like the dynamics that come in play. And like, I think all of us are important. I think, again, if there's so much information, there's actually no information. And especially when it comes to your relationship, it's too personal. You can't trust just anyone. You can't trust the algorithms for that. And so I feel like if Cosmo can be that place that it was for me growing up, where it made me feel like there was something bigger and it was going to be okay and reassured in who I was, then like we're doing our job.
Yeah, so great. You have that love of that from before.
Oh my God, of course.
And you're bringing that love into what you're doing right now. It's really,
I really
special.
Believe in the mission, and I love Cosmo, and I think we're really only getting started, like, truly. This is my 3rd issue. I'm like, we have so much more to say.
You put on a different brain for 17 for Cosmo, or is it?
I always ask that. No,
I was just saying, it's kind of interesting. Is it a grown up? I'm sure there's someone ask you that too. Is 17?
Yeah, 17 is definitely younger. There's definitely like a lot of fandoms I learn about all the time. Like, Rosie, who runs our social, like, she teaches me so much. I'm like, who is this? And she's like, well, actually, in the summer I turned pretty. You're Team Conrad because. Yeah. And I'm like, what?
Yeah. Okay.
Are you Team Conrad?
I'm learning. As you're talking, I think I need to start reading 17 because I can see that as a feeder, because that it's like kind of that's the beginning, that's the tadpole stage of slang of what's happening, what's happening in the media right now. And then that filters out a little bit, but it starts young.
Yeah, I think the teen landscape is really important, and I like take that responsibility really seriously. I used to be an intern there, and every single morning going to my internship, I'd be like, wow, this is the best day of my life. I want to work here forever. I'm never going to work anywhere else. So it's cute because I still go to the same building. So I remember being an intern and being like just so obsessed with 17, but a lot of it like really hasn't changed. It's still about fandoms. It's still about like, you know, stars that mean a lot to Gen Z. The tagline is it starts at 17, and we really talk about what it's like to be 17. And our my first cover was Zaya Wade, who's so special.
Right.
And it was right for her 18th birthday. Then we had Clara, who'd be a great guest for you.
Okay. I feel like at 17, and again, I refer to my son, 16, 17, is when the focus, everything is, which has been directed inwards and me and me and me and me. And suddenly it's like, wait a minute. And they start looking outwards for I don't know, examples, mentors, people who inspire them. And I think and they look to someone and connect with someone. And I think it's right at that moment in the growing up that happens. It feels
totally. And I think you're so impressionable. Like media at that time, I mean, there's nothing more influential. It's like your friends and what you see on your phone.
Yeah. And
so to have that intimate connection with a 17-year-old is just so special. I really think media is so, so, so important. And especially now, I mean, it really like can change public perception in such a specific way and make people feel like okay again.
Yeah.
It's cool.
You take it seriously. It's I feel the responsibility. Like you got an obligation in a way.
Totally.
We're gonna have this new segment called News or Nonsense.
I cannot wait for this segment.
All right, so we're back. Here's what we're going to do. You have years of experience in creating these iconic covers, right? And making headlines and publications. So we thought it'd be fun to play a little game where you have to guess if the headline is a real headline or completely made up. Okay. So that says me. This is my press pass.
Okay.
This is your press pass.
Wow.
Okay.
Thank you. What if I want to be Kyle?
Oh, you can be me. Here, you want to be me?
Yes.
Okay, very good. You be me.
Amazing.
I'll be you. Okay, perfect. And then we also have, how are you with hats? Are you okay?
Wow, this is the best day of my life.
Okay, which choose a color and color.
The
Okay, great.
one.
They
Okay,
go for
nice.
the dark one. Okay.
Honestly, kind of goes with your tie.
Oh, it looks good actually.
Oh my God, you look amazing.
You look all right.
You are a fashion icon. You get that a lot, right? You like know that.
This is the crazy thing because my day to day it's t-shirts and jeans.
No, but like in my head, you're always in a Balenciaga suit. I don't know what that says. Don't worry about it. Don't overthink it.
I kind of love that. Okay, perfect. This is good.
I actually can't focus. You look perfect. Okay, hit me.
I love it. Okay, here we go. First headline. Real or fake? Robot vacuums form union. Demand weekends off.
Real.
Not real.
Whoa, really?
Isn't that
I was
crazy?
like, that's Wired.
But that could be...
Should I guess the
I
publication?
love that you went right to the magazine
I was
where
like,
this
Wired would publish that.
Yeah. That's
okay. Well,
funny.
good to know.
Maybe they should publish it. Okay.
Totally, I'd read.
Okay, ready? Authorities say a babysitter checked under the bed for monsters and found someone.
Fake.
This one's real.
What publication?
I don't even know the publication. What publication was this from? Do we remember?
NPR.
Oh, okay.
Does that sound like an NPR? I guess.
Yeah, that checks out. Is that an online? Okay, just to argue.
Okay.
That sounds like a podcast episode.
Okay, here we go. More than 34 cats cause divorce.
False?
This one's real too.
Wow. Okay,
35 cats would be, well, that's more. Yeah, 33 cats, you'd be okay. But if you have more than 34 cats, it would cause a divorce. These are crazy.
I love that.
To be fair, that one's from the 50s.
Okay, from the 50s. Well, there you go. That makes sense then. Man wins custody battle over pet rock after 6-year legal dispute.
Man wins custody battle over pet rock.
After 6-year legal dispute. These are crazy.
I think false.
You got it right. False.
Okay, thank God I got one.
Be
That was
that-
scary
yeah.
there for a minute.
You're standing at 25%. That's okay. Here we go. Okay. Farmer teaches cows to use Japanese toilets. Now they refuse to go anywhere without a bidet.
I think false, but
Yes, very good.
here's the only thing is I was like, that could be like one of your tricks.
Oh.
You know, like it sounds so fake that it's actually true, but no, it's definitely false. Because that actually makes no logical sense.
Sometimes on Instagram, don't you get caught on animals that actually use the toilet?
Yeah.
That's like very confusing to me.
Yeah, but like, what publication's publishing that, you know?
Yeah. Texas woman marries ex-boyfriend without his knowledge.
Okay, she sounds iconic.
Yes.
That would be illegal, so it has to be false.
Oh, it's true.
What?
Can
She's
you believe
iconic. I need to talk to her.
Yeah.
Put
you
me
gotta
in touch.
Yeah, you got to have her in the magazine.
That's
All
a
right,
Cosmo
let's reach out.
article.
That is.
That's a Cosmo article.
Totally a baller. Okay, very good. All right, last one. Man arrested in UK cheese heist, where imposter stole $389,000 worth of cheddar. Must be very good cheddar. I happen to love English cheddar.
Real?
Yes.
Wow.
Well
that
done.
was a lucky guess.
Well done. You started sort of slow, and then you came
Yeah.
on very, very strong, Willa.
Yeah, I was watching your body language. Didn't give me any clues.
Ah.
Literally gave me nothing.
I was trying to help. Well, I wasn't
I was
very
like,
helpful.
wink twice.
Yeah,
wink
yeah.
twice, Kyle. That was a wild game. Thank you so much
Yeah,
for
Thanks
that.
for
That was so
participating, for
fun.
playing. Thank you so much for being
Thank
here.
you, Kyle. You're the best.
This was really, really fun. This
So
is really
special.
fun. So, any quick updates? What's next? I mean, obviously the magazine. You got new things coming out all the time.
Yes,
you said there was an
it's-
interview in Seoul. You're really excited about.
Yeah, we have a lot. I blind date season 2 coming out in October.
Great. You can't say. We don't know who it is. Yeah. So
I
it's
don't know.
blind date.
We've
Yeah.
done half of the episodes, and I can tell you off the record, it's amazing.
I can't wait.
And by off the record, I mean on the record.
You've got to watch this. This is really fun. You're so brave to go in.
Thank you.
You
I
just-
kind of agree. It's like really brave. And what people
Yeah.
don't know, it's like in the middle of my workday. So I'm like drinking a martini and like talking to Renee Rapp
Right.
at like 12. And then I'm like in the boardroom at 1.
You're like, how do you do it?
It's called being a modern EIC.
Yes. You can do anything. I did love that one, by the way. She's
Oh, thank you.
fantastic.
She's hilarious.
Very authentic, very real, very like, this is it. This is who I am.
Totally. And she was just like over and over again, like iconic quotes, looking to the camera, being like, dump him. Like,
Yeah.
it was really, and she's so confident, which I love.
Super confident. I agree.
And I think it's good for this generation to see someone just like own who they are.
Own is the perfect word for it. I think back on my generation, it's like you had to be, there was a lot more, you're sort of hesitant about how you wanted to present yourself. You sort of had there was editing going on, constant editing. And I feel today it's like no editing. It's just, here I am, take it or leave it.
That's a great lesson. Here I am, take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it, yeah. And I think it's fantastic. All right, so now we're going to close out. That's all we have time for today. I could go on for a long more time, but thanks for joining us, helping us solve What Are We Even Doing Here, which I don't know if we did solve it, but we had a really good time in the process. We will keep trying.
Yay.
Bye-bye.
Thank you guys so much.
What Are We Even Doing is a production of iHeart Media and the Elvis Duran Podcast Network, hosted by me, Kyle MacLachlan, and created and produced by Full Picture Productions. Yay! Featuring music by Yada and artwork by Danica Robinson. For more information about the podcast, please visit our Instagram and TikTok at WAWED with Kyle. Please rate, review, and subscribe to What Are We Even Doing on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, or anywhere you get your podcasts. Exclamation point.